I've had it in my possession for just over 9 weeks. It was a long-term loan. Thank you, Kia Canada, for that. And I can't believe it's over because that means a bunch of things. One, summer is over or just about, which I guess is the most depressing thing because it goes by so fast. The other thing, and I'll tell you right now, I am going to miss this all-electric SUV powerhouse. I had a lot of plans with this SUV, with the family, and unfortunately, as you might be able to tell, I am under the weather again. Yeah, this is the third time, I think, since June. On top of that, my daughter had pneumonia and my son was sick too for about 2 weeks. In short, I had a lot of plans for this Kia EV9, and a number of them just went right out the window. So I'm upset on a number of levels because I will not have had the opportunity to take this SUV as far as I wanted. Now, the reasons why I wanted to long-term review the Kia EV9 is that my life has changed in the last year and so, and now there are 6 of us that are ferried around just about everywhere, and I've become very, very partial to EVs. In fact, I may have been reprimanded in some ways because I had a hard time appreciating some petrol-powered vehicles. It's no small wonder why. This thing has some impossible highs that make me think that for this type of vehicle, I could not do without electrification. In fact, I could not do without going all electric. But the funny thing with the Kia EV9 is that there are a number of lows. None of them deal breakers per se, but some that, well, as a consumer, you should think about. What I typically do in my video reviews is that I kind of front load the review in the introduction because I'm a moron like that. I would get one of these, absolutely. I will specify that I would lease it, probably 48 months, 40 months, maybe 36, depending on the interest rates. But I will absolutely miss this SUV because not only is it powerful, but it's hyper efficient, it's roomy, and it's generally speaking very comfortable. So in the following video, we're going to do a walk around. I'm going to point out a few things that you may or may not have seen in past reviews of the Kia EV9, and then we're going to go for a drive. And let me tell you that this thing, with the amount of power that it has, because this is a Land all-wheel drive, it's just absolutely addictive, and no ICE 3-row midsize SUV can keep up with it. Anyhow, please hang in there. Here we go. All right, let's talk about pricing. Just as a reminder, for 2024, the base light rear-wheel drive is $59,995. The Land all-wheel drive with the top package, the GT line, $78,995. And this, the Land all-wheel drive, retails for $64,995. The good news is that for 2025, pricing is absolutely the same. I will tell you now, however, there is a premium package that was available for 2024. So for $10K, you had 6 passenger seating, so captain seats, sunroof, Meridian audio, and all of that, which is an incredible package. But for 2025, for some reason, Kia Canada split that, and now you have the Plus package, which gives you the dual sunroof, and the premium package, which gives you the 6 passenger seating. Unfortunately, you can't combine the two. But you also get 20-inch wheels and a few other things. So that's just a one minor negative thing for pricing in 2025. I mean, the list of standard features is enormous. Heated, cooled front seats, yeah, out of the box. Twin 12.3-inch displays, 19-inch wheels. When you get up to the Land all-wheel drive, you get the larger battery up from the 76.1 kilowatt-hour battery. Just a few words maybe on styling. it's the more I look at it, the more I spend time with it, the more I absolutely love the styling. The funny thing is that the Montreal Metro wheels, somebody pointed that out a number of weeks ago, and I can't get that out of my mind, which is kind of a weird thing. But otherwise, I mean, the only thing I would do differently is get an actual color. Like the GT line I tested earlier this year, or was it late last year, was the blue, and then there's also the red. I really, really do love the spoiler. Just a note, I shopped around for some crossbars so I could put my Thule box on top of this. The only place where I could find where you could buy a rack for the flush mounted rails was at the dealership, and it's $800 if memory serves. I couldn't find like a generic or a multi-fit one that would work. So that's that. We did actually test it out. I don't know if you can see the scratch. Yeah, the kids actually, bicycle. Anyway, I don't know why I'm showing that to you. What I will show you is these door handles. They are finicky as all heck. See, it won't lock now. It should be locking, but it won't lock. So it's gonna make me, oh, there we go. It finally worked. And as you get close, usually it will recognize me. So that the intelligent key is also standard. Okay, then it worked too. I tell you, 1 out of 3 times when I pull on the handle, it does not actually latch. So I can't open the door until the door handle latches on the inside before it can actually open the door. It's been extremely frustrating, but not a deal breaker, as I said earlier, but that's kind of annoying. Otherwise, I don't know. It's got a frunk too. I suppose I could show it to you. Oh, there's the button. I'm actually using it to store headrests, as you can see, because with the baby seats or the kids seats, it actually is better for them. Actually, we'll go on the other side. It's better for them to not have any headrests. That way the seat can actually, let's see. No, see, it won't do it. As you can see, I'm on the passenger side. It won't do it, but then unlock, and there we go. It's kind of strange. I don't know why that happens. Okay, so here's the one thing, the one lesson I learned. So you have the 4 seats, right, as you can see. With the 7-passenger configuration, that's how you get in the back for the 40% split of the seats, so the kids crawl in the back, and then you pull it back up, and it's too far back, so you got to move it forward. There's a handle right there to move it forward. I'm just telling you now, the thing is with the kids, when 2 are sitting here and 2 are sitting in the back, they enjoy releasing the seat while there's someone here. So in my case, the 6-passenger configuration is absolutely necessary. But the thing is too, if you have adults that you want to position in the 3rd row, the angle for the knee or the seat cushion is actually quite high off the ground. So you can be, as an adult, regular size adult, not 6'3", be comfortable back there. Back here, plenty of space, and the seat back is fully adjustable. There's loads and loads of room. I would just go for the captain seats, just so that the kids can actually just crawl right through into the 2nd row, from the 2nd row into the 3rd row, and make their life and my life a lot easier. Let's just open this up. Okay, this is the other mild issue. Because I could not get the box on the roof, I'm driving around with the 3rd row up all the time. So that leaves 573 liters of boot space. It's not bad. There is some storage under here, but 1 cooler, a couple of bags, and a spare change of clothes and a couple of towels, and this is full. This is why I wanted the box. So it's kind of limited as far as space is concerned here. Of course, this is because I'm using all the time the 3rd row. It's just over 1,200 liters, 1,233 liters, I believe, if the 3rd row is stowed. So then you have absolutely plenty, loads of storage space. Okay, so let's go up front. fit finish materials, very good. I mean, it's plain-ish. It's not high-end. But to me, after, 9 weeks, just over 9 weeks, seems durable enough. At the very least, this leatherette is, well, looks tough because, as I kind of said, the kids do, well, they climb over it and they do what kids do. I don't know what to tell you. And it seems to be holding up quite nicely. The car is still, the EV9 is still very new, but anyhow, the seats themselves, very power lumbar support, very, very deep bolsters, absolutely comfortable up front. The storage down here is brilliant. Cup holders up here also. Storage here works out very nicely. One of my favorite aspects of the EV9 is the steering wheel. So I start it up over here. It's the steering wheel. It's got a semi-flat bottom and top. And the grip is fantastic. It's I don't know, it's one of the best steering wheels in mainstream cars. And it looks great too. Twin 12.3-inch displays. The menus as a whole are very, very user-friendly. The HVAC controls is, they actually have its own position on the screen, which is unusual for these types of vehicles. Let's turn that off. For everything else, I mean, you have a series of, I don't know, you can call them hard buttons, but these are, well, I don't like the way they work, the haptic touch, but the menus are straightforward. Everything works fine. I've had absolutely no problems with that at all. I am also always wired when I use CarPlay. HVAC controls here, the hard buttons. It's great. I have nothing to complain about. And the space up front is lovely. I love the touches. The dashboard, the details. Very, very lovely. Like I said, heated, cool seats, standard. Door bins are actually quite good. And the visibility as a whole is nice. Despite the fact that the base of the A-pillar is massive, you can squeeze your eye or your vision between the pillar and the mirror. It works out quite nicely. One of the issues is this. It actually moves. Okay, so let's see what happens when I drive. This is probably one of the most annoying aspects. It's very functional, but it shakes a lot. So here we go. We're going to go for a drive. Now, I know that just in the previous segment, I started off on a negative note about the shaky center console. I don't know if you're going to hear it. I have my AirPods in, as you can see, because my transmitter receiver is still on the fritz. But it's a real issue for me. If there's a drink here with ice in it, for example, which I have done when we went on our day trips, if you leave your keys in the cup holders or elsewhere in one of the slots, they shake, they vibrate, they make very annoying noises. Even with the radio on, depending on when you leave in there, the noise is omnipresent. It's really, really unfortunate. The other thing that's unfortunate is, one of the reasons why I wanted a Land all-wheel drive without the GT line package, well, first I wanted all-wheel drive for the power, but I did not want the GT line package because I wanted to do without the self-leveling rear suspension. In the GT line I drove earlier this year or late last year, the rear leveling suspension just completely threw off the ride and handling of the EV9. It's as though the front was too firm and the rear was way too soft, and both axles were doing completely different things at the same time, upsetting comfort, messing with my mind. It was terrible. The good news is that without the rear leveling suspension, just the standard 5-link suspension, ride quality is better, though there's still a discrepancy between what the front wants to do or is doing and what the rear is doing. The rear end remains very floaty. There are a few roads that I take on a regular basis, and the rear end is just bouncing up and down, whereas the front end is behaving, you know, quote unquote, normally. But that's not a deal breaker as it was in the GT line. Otherwise, brakes, steering, everything just, I don't know, I don't want to say perfect, maybe because I've gotten so accustomed to the way everything works in the EV9 that the fit is just perfect with now the way I drive when I'm in it. I'm constantly using, except now, the paddles to shift, right? This is for the regen braking. There are a number of modes, right? From 3 I-pedal max, and 3, 2, 1, and then full coasting at 0. It's kind of the only way to be involved in, you know, the mechanicals or the driving experience of an EV, shift, upshift or downshift, depending on what you're doing, where you are, where you're driving. But the kicker, 2 kickers, in fact, 99.8 kilowatt hour battery. So that comes when you spec an all-wheel drive version. It will give you an estimated 451 kilometers of range. I have seen just this morning 538 kilometers of indicated range. And I actually did the math. Over the 9 weeks, I jotted down every charge from my Flow X5 home charger, how much power this thing would consume, and I've been tracking the mileage. And are you ready for this? The EV9 is consuming just over 22 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. This is a 5,700 pound plus, because my butt's in it and then all the other people, SUV that is, looks like it's aerodynamic, or as aerodynamic as a brick wall, just over 22 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So you do the math, that's almost 100 kilowatt hour battery, almost times 5. It's absolutely unbelievable. And then and charging that, right, 350 kilowatts. I've not charged on a 350, but I did a 180, and it just takes it all down as though, you know, it was just having a beer. I don't know. And then the other thing, the final aspect is the dual motor, all-wheel drive, 379 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. It is dangerously addictive. Dangerously addictive. You have a number of drive modes too, with the terrain modes, and I configured my drive. You know, everything is essentially in sport, except, well, just the throttle responses in sport. And the terrain modes I've not used, but the power is unbelievable. You can take on anyone off the line. You know, even a, I don't know, X5M or something like that. You can just toy with them, you know, just off the line. I shouldn't be saying these things, but look, I'm being honest. This thing is, it's just incredible. Frankly, I want one of these. My dream vehicle was, oh wait, I didn't really see it, Sienna, but despite the fact that I'm more or less anti-SUV, there's nothing else like this. Rivian R1S is just too expensive, as is the ID Buzz. But anyway, but in this segment for $65,000, I would take the captain seats, and I would definitely risk this. Go against everything I've always said about Korean products and to not bother, but this one is absolutely epic, and every award it's received, it deserves it. I love this thing.